Hey, this is Abe.
And this is Alexa.
Welcome back to the Get Out and Enjoy Life podcast, or GOEL.
Today we're talking about our trip to Las Vegas.
Yeah, so this trip was a spur-of-the-moment trip. It happened in March of this year, and really we took it because Washington has really kind of gloomy winters. It's usually overcast. It gets even colder for some reason in January, April area.
Yeah.
And so my mom does girls trips with the sisters, my two sisters, and they had gone to Las Vegas and kind of saw how fun it looked. And so Alexa and I were planning on doing something fun.
Yeah.
We were at work actually.
Yeah.
And my mom had called me about this trip, and I'm like, wow, this really sounds fun.
Yeah.
And
well, what happened is our schedules coincided. I had a week coming up off, and we kind of had been going back and forth. Do we go on a big trip? We did know at this point we had our Italy trip coming up.
Right.
And so we're like, do we do another trip, or do we just kind of spend all our money on this one thing? And so we'd been going back and forth. We're like, maybe let's go here, let's go there. And then we had just decided, we're not going to do anything for that week. We're just going to chill here in Washington, do nothing. But what happened is, Abe drove me to work that day, and he was kind of out and about doing his thing.
I was hanging out at the Bellevue Library, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then, he texted me and was like, hey, do you want to go on this trip to Las Vegas? We can book the tickets tonight and leave tomorrow.
Yeah, I had talked to my mom on the phone. The Bellevue Public Library that's a really nice library. They have almost a little coffee nook. They don't serve coffee, but they have vending machines. It's kind of set up like a cafe type area.
Cool.
I remember I was sitting over there and talking to my mom, like I said, about her Las Vegas trip, and I'm like, yeah, I should go do this. And she's like, yeah, you should go do this. And so I looked at flights, and then I asked Alexa, hey, you want to go on this trip? And she said, yeah. And so we booked flights for it.
Yeah, and actually my birthday was this next week as well.
That's right. You were really mad. I remember that. You were furious with me.
Because we're going to have a little birthday party.
Yeah, we were going to have a little birthday party for your birthday.
Yeah.
And you're like, you booked, afterwards, you're like,
I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh, this isn't really a birthday trip.
Yeah.
It's like an us trip, but it's not we weren't planning on doing something special for my birthday.
Yeah, and you're like, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
This is for us. And I'm like, oh man,
there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong that it was for us. But I was just I love to be celebrated for my birthday.
We had already had a plan to have a party kind of for you.
Yeah, a charcuterie board party where everybody brings a different charcuterie board.
Yeah.
But
anyways. Anyway, so we flew out the next day.
Yeah.
And we got into the airport. The airport at Vegas it's not what I expected. I thought it would be very well put together. It wasn't. It was small. It was smaller, and there was a lot of stuff shut down in it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's from COVID and everything still, but
yeah, I had been to Vegas prior to COVID, but I really don't remember too much of it.
But anyway, we flew in. We caught a taxi over to our hotel.
Not even a taxi, a Tesla.
A Uber.
These are Ubers, which I remember it was really difficult to get an Uber. Everything would either cancel or would not. It just wasn't working. I don't know what happened. But we got an Uber, and a lot of the Ubers are Teslas. So that was really cool to be picked up in Tesla.
And we were talking with the driver, and he's like, yeah, I own my Tesla. He was actually a nurse, which is kind of cool. And then we were talking with him, and he's like, yeah, a lot of these people don't own their Teslas. They lease them out, which doesn't make sense, he said, financially.
Because it was you might as well buy the car.
Right. And so he had a lot of good tips and things.
Yeah, where we should go.
And we were driving around, and we drove past the Sphere, which we didn't really know what it was at the time.
We didn't know what it was.
But it was under construction still.
It was, yeah.
Finishing
but
up,
I mean,
think.
huge.
Yeah, it was
huge.
very close to being done. And we got what hotel did we stay at?
We stayed at the Link.
Oh,
I've stayed at the Flamingo before, but the Link and the Flamingo are right next to each other. They're very centrally located on the Strip, so it was a nice place because you have the Link, the Ferris wheel that you can go on. There's a bunch of restaurants through the Link Promenade. And so there's just a lot to do. We were in a good area, and we got a junior suite.
Yeah, we did
I
get a
forgot
junior
about
suite.
that.
The reason, so we paid a little bit extra for it.
Yeah.
The reason that I think we upgraded for the junior suite was because I was like, my mom had just stayed there. She stayed at the Flamingo. And she's like, there's no coffee maker in this hotel. And I'm like, what? I want a coffee maker.
Yeah.
And so we ended up getting the junior suite. And I think it actually didn't have a coffee maker.
It didn't have a coffee
maker. No,
maker.
but it had a fridge.
It did
That
have
was
a
the
fridge.
big thing.
It had like almost like a little kitchenette type thing.
And we got into it, and it was huge.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It had its own living room.
Kitchenette. I mean, we had a huge bedroom and bathroom.
And like usually when like things are like a living room and kitchenette, like the kitchenette and the living room are usually together. Like this was a living room, and then it had like a separate like kind of connection to the bedroom, but that was a kitchenette, and then the bedroom, which was big, and then like a big bathroom.
Big bathroom.
It
was
great.
So nice. I mean, it was worth the money to be staying in that. I mean, we were out so much of the time, but like when we did come back, it was nice to have the space and like be able to just sit and chill.
And we had a fridge too.
We had a fridge.
I ended up bringing a French press.
Yeah.
With like a little like what's it called, like
little hot water maker.
Basically, I can't think of the word. All of a sudden.
I can't either.
And so
like a kettle.
A kettle, yeah. That's the word I'm looking for. And so, kind of to back up a little bit, when we checked in the hotel into the Link Hotel, it's a casino, obviously downstairs.
Yeah.
I just remember walking in. There's smoke, like the cigarette smoke, everywhere. I'm like, oh man, I wish I had brought one of my masks with me because it was like everywhere. But that's kind of what you get with going to Vegas. But when we went to go check in, there was only one receptionist, and there was quite a long line for it. And then they have like these big kind of like computer kiosks, and you check in through that, and it's like AI.
Yeah, like you have a digital, like an AI assistant, and it'll text you like, if you need recommendations, like text me and I'll tell you.
Yeah, and so it was really great. Like we asked some questions to it over like for the Wi-Fi and things like that. And it's like, oh, you only get 2 Wi-Fi devices per day. So like we each, I think,
then you have to pay extra after that. It's ridiculous.
It's like $30 or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it was a lot of money.
Crazy.
And so and we ended up, they had like a spa there. We thought about doing the spa, but we had ended up walking up to the spa. And at this time, I forget what it was. Who's the one that
Berkshire Hathaway.
Berkshire Hathaway was having like a conference there.
Huge conference.
Yeah, and we met this guy. And Alexa rolls her eyes at me because we met this guy and we're talking to him. Like we were kind of just looking through the spa, sitting down. Didn't go in the spa, but he's like, yeah, I'm just kind of looking too. He was like very, really good looking gentleman, dressed well.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I was really bummed this place didn't have coffee makers. So
and he had come down to the spa to get coffee.
To get coffee. Yeah, that's how we got chatting. I'm like, so I brought my own kettle and my own French press, and I'm making this coffee. And he's like, oh, yeah. And then,
he was just like saying like his brother was like a top seller for Berkshire Hathaway, like in real estate
I'm like,
or something.
Oh man,
I was like, Abe, stop talking about the kettle. We look bad.
We look cheap.
Even though there's nothing wrong with that, but it was just like, oh my God. Anyways, but I mean, it was your first time in Vegas.
Yeah.
What did you think about like these huge casinos and hotels?
So,
I mean, it's unlike
amazing.
It's like unlike any other
Truly,
thing.
it's like really just all decadence. It's, it's amazing. There's things to look at all over the place. There's people to look at all over the place.
Yeah.
One of the things I remember is looking at these buildings. I'm like, these hotels, and they're like so tall. Well, they look so big and grand, but then you're like, I was like counting the windows on them. I'm like, this doesn't make sense with the number of windows for everything. They're all facades, like a lot of them. So like the windows aren't really true windows in some of the cases, I think. So my favorite place,
like for which one? Like New York?
No,
or
I think it was. I forget all of them, but my favorite place was Venice.
What's that one called?
The Venetian.
The Venetian.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was so cool. I've been to Vegas before. I never had walked down that far on that side of the strip. Yeah. It was amazing.
Oh, man. I just wanted to hang out in there.
I know.
Like
I loved like
city.
the inside with the sky and like it felt like you were like in Little Italy, you know. It was so cool. All the shops and like the gondolas, you know, going through the
gondolas were so expensive. It was
they were crazy.
What was it, like 120 or something like
I feel
that?
it was like 160, honestly. It was crazy.
It's been like a couple of months, like we said, but and then we were looking at, I was like, you know, I'm always trying to kind of figure out how things work, and I'm like, I don't think they're actually like pushing with their oars and everything, and yeah, when you look down over the bridges, they're pushing with pedals. Of like which way they go with their feet.
Yeah, and so when we went to Venice, Abe is looking down on their feet like, are they really pushing this thing or what's going on?
The guy's like, yeah, I'm really rowing.
And it was cheaper.
It was cheaper
in Italy to do the real thing.
Yeah,
you know?
which is
it was like
not
80
usually
euros, I think.
Yeah, something like it for two people. Yeah.
So
the Venetian. Oh my gosh,
it was grand. It was cool. It was like
so
beautiful.
Cool. We walked a ton, and then you wanted to go to a Cirque du Soleil show.
Yeah, I've been to one here in Washington. I've been to one in Mexico, and I was like, I always hear about the Cirque shows in Las Vegas because they have quite a few. So we went to one. I'm blanking on what it's called. It was in Treasure Island.
Like La Mystique or something like that.
Yeah. Mystere. Yeah, and so we went to that. I mean, it was crazy expensive.
It was like $120 a person.
Yeah, I mean, we bought them the day of. I was like, let's go to Cirque du Soleil tonight, you know? And so I just remember on that day, I wore these heels and I walked all the way down to Cirque du Soleil because I was like, I'm going to dress up. This is my one night. I'm going to dress up. My feet hurt so bad.
You got blisters.
I got blisters. We had to stop at Walgreens to get some moleskin for my blisters,
did we get
right?
moleskin?
I think we did.
Oh, we did. But prior to that, like in the hotel that Cirque du Soleil was in, we got you like little Band-Aids and they were falling off and everything. And
yeah, but I mean, the show was amazing. It was very cool. They had drinks and stuff. They had like a full bar food situation there. So it was really cool. And then after that, we went to the club.
Oh, that's
Do you remember?
We did go to the club. Oh my gosh.
I took Abe to the club for the first time, and it's like, it's not the club here in Washington, like in Seattle. It's like grand. It is like lights, camera, action.
Like table girls, or what are they called?
Bottle there's girls? Like bottle girls. Abe has never seen any of this in his life.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, last time I was there, I didn't get to go to a club, but I was like, we have to go and like listen to music.
Yeah.
So
I
many
remember
people.
we were standing in line to get in because they want to like check everything that you're bringing, and I brought ear plugs because I was like, oh, my ears, and they're like looking at my earplugs, and I'm like, I swear they're not. I swear they're earplugs.
Yeah.
I think they thought they were pills or something, and I'm like, they let me keep them, thank goodness. But they were like these Milwaukee like red earplugs.
Yeah. So I found this club. It was in the Cosmopolitan. I'm blanking on what it's called, the actual club. But how we actually decided to do this was we were walking on the strip, and there's these guys, and they basically hand out cards. And so for most of the time, I had been like ignoring people because a lot of the cars have like naked ladies on them, and like I don't really want that.
Or
you know?
Not naked ladies, but ladies that are lightly dressed, very lightly dressed.
I don't know. I mean, you know, the main parts you can't see, but like it's very like suggestive is what it is. And so sometimes you'll see that and people are trying to pass you out thinking, come to this club, you know, come to this place or whatever. And there was a promoter on the side, and Abe was like, oh no, come on. Like, I thought you didn't want to talk to those people. I'm like, no, because he's like, hey, you want to come to the club tonight? And I was like, yes. And so I actually had to get his phone number, and he had to text me the information. Yeah, and you're like being
weird about it. You're like, are you okay with this? Like, I'm texting this
because I didn't know if you really wanted to go to the club
you're like,
thing.
Because you're like, I'm texting this guy, and I'm like, it's just a promoter. Like,
no, anyways.
It was nice of you to care, but I didn't care.
Well, also, it was just like, I didn't really want to give my number out, and then...
But it worked out.
But it worked out because we got him for free, because if not, we would have had to pay like, what, $50 or something like that. So anyways, yeah, we went. It was so much fun. I don't know what you thought about it, but
it was
as your
fun.
first experience
Yeah.
with that, but like
It
it was
was-
like bigger than
Yeah.
anything I've ever been to before.
I've
and
been
I love
to a rave in Spain.
Uh-huh.
It was by Diplo, which I had no clue who he was or really anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was on kind of that level.
Yeah,
Is
like strobe lights, like big DJ, like dancers,
and it's just
like
mass. Like they're dancers like in cages.
yeah,
I
in
think.
cages, yeah,
Like,
and then bottle girls
like-
in the back
I'm
and
like,
people's
yeah.
VIP tables.
Yeah, and it's just like everyone's packed so together, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
enjoyed
was fun. And then we headed back to our hotel, but yeah, that was all really fun. And then we did the Link Ferris wheel.
Which you were really
huge.
hesitant on doing.
I was. I don't like height.
Yeah, but it was. We actually, I think they can fit. Don't quote me on this, but because it's been a couple of months, but it's almost like they can fit like 10 to 15 people in these like pods.
I think at one point they said like 40 people.
40?
I almost thought it was like that.
Okay.
Like a big
So
number,
it was
but
a large number of people.
there's a lot of people who
It's
can
a big
fit into
pod,
this.
but we got this pod with only like 3 or 4 other people, which is really cool.
Oh, no. There were 6 of us total.
6 of us,
Because there's 3
okay.
couples.
Oh, okay.
And we were taking photos of
That's
each
right,
other.
Yeah. And, it was really a lot of fun.
And it goes up like 510 feet in the air,
Something
I
like
think.
that.
Something crazy.
Yeah, it's and you felt pretty good in it. I think.
I felt safe. I mean, that thing was sturdy. Like, we were in like a big bubble.
Yeah.
And it was sturdy. And what was cool is as you go up, I think it takes 30 minutes to do the full rotation. But it gives you information about like Las Vegas, about the construction of this like Ferris wheel. So it was really cool. And you could see like everything once you get to the top.
Yeah, like across the desert.
Yeah, see past all these super tall hotels.
Yeah.
And also, like, that was on the Link Promenade where they have, like, all the restaurants and fun things to do. We went to a selfie museum that was
that's
there.
right, yeah.
Because one night we just didn't know what to do. We didn't
Yeah.
really want to gamble. We didn't know.
I think we only gambled like $20 or something like
Yeah,
that. And lost
that
it
literally
all,
was
like, in
not what
5
we did.
minutes. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh man, we're
We
not
did it,
doing
like,
this.
once. And then, we went to the selfie museum, which we didn't really know. I just found it online. And it was so much fun.
a
We
lot of
just
fun.
got to be, like, in different scenes and take funky photos and, like,
It was kind of
Their
like
props.
I think it was like $20 a person or something like that.
Something.
But yeah, it was a ton of fun, and they
It
had
was
like
so
these like
fun.
gravity defying like rooms where like beds were on the wall. It was.
Yeah.
And then they had like these ball pits of like just emoji
Yeah.
like balls.
And like just different optical illusions you could
Mm-hmm.
do like by just like rotating your camera or like taking the photo and then, switching it around or doing something to it.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There's this other place, I forget what it's called, but it's this restaurant. We walked pretty far down. I think it's in like, what is it? What's the like,
Italy?
well, no, this is a different one.
Oh.
It's called like Dave's Restaurant or something. It's where they like insult you as you eat and things like that.
Oh, yes.
And
But we didn't eat there.
We didn't eat there. I was kind of looking at it. I'm like, what is this guy? There's like a statue of this dude.
Oh, this was at the end of the strip.
Yeah, at the end of the strip. And
When it starts to get a little weird.
Yeah, it's getting a little weird.
the end.
And I'm like, what is this? Ended up looking it up, and
Circus.
no.
Was that?
Oh,
no.
was it in Circus
Oh, no.
Circus?
It wasn't Circus.
I don't remember.
It's like the Camelot
Yeah,
one.
it's Camelot. It's in
Yeah,
Camelot.
yeah.
I'm like, gosh, but there's interesting. But yeah, Italy. It was. Oh man, I would go back
was
there.
amazing. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It just like looked like this little.
It kind
How
of
do you
looked like
describe
real
it?
Italy.
Yeah, how do you describe it?
It's like it's basically like it's in like
almost like
almost
a
a
food
big
court.
hotel lobby almost.
Yeah.
Like you walk
it's at
in
the MGM Grand.
and then you have all these. I don't remember if the ceiling's painted or anything like that, but you almost have all these like little restaurants, and they have like little roofs
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And there's one person who's like rolling out pasta, like actually rolling out the pasta, and they serve pasta.
And it just looks like a bunch of little restaurants
yeah,
that you can
it's
stop
like,
at.
It's built like you're almost like seated outside, and the restaurants are around you. And,
Yeah.
Since it was
was
cold
so
out, it was
good.
like, oh, it's so nice.
It was cool. But one thing that was really cool is like that was our first experience with Italy. And then when we went to real Italy, we
Yeah.
got to go to Italy there in Milan.
Yeah,
And I
and
think we briefly touched on it.
I like the Vegas Italy better.
It was
It
good.
was better.
Italy in Italy was like a grocery store.
It was, yeah.
With like a couple restaurants.
With like really high-end restaurants at the top. 'Cause
Yes,
it was tiered.
high end. Like
Yeah.
it got better as it went
We
up.
couldn't even like afford to eat there. It was like
I mean, we could if we wanted, but it was
like
like 70 euros
it
for
was
like one
no, yeah.
entree.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
yeah, it was like Michelin star.
But yeah, like it's almost. I think partially like the reason I liked Vegas, Italy better is because it's almost like kind of Disneyland-ish.
It is.
It's like very animated. All
Yeah.
the colors pop and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then actually on one of our last days, we rented a car and we
Our
drove
first
out
time
to the
renting a
desert.
car actually ever. I've never rented a car before.
Yeah, I hadn't
Because
either.
like you can't rent a car until you're like how old?
25.
25 or something.
I
like
think
that?
you can rent it before, but you like, I don't know if you have to pay a
extra
lot
something.
more.
Yeah.
Either
So-
way, we hadn't rented a car.
Yeah, and
before.
we're like, oh, do we get the insurance?
Yeah.
Do we not? Or our
Yeah, yeah,
parents are like, my mom's like, no, you don't
Yeah.
need the insurance.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
no.
oh man, do we? I think we
Yeah.
got insurance. Because we're like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
So, we got, what was it? Was it a Toyota Camry?
Corolla.
A Corolla. Yeah. It was really nice.
It was
like,
super nice. It was like a 20,
brand new.
23.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so nice.
Yeah, and so we drove out we went to go to the Hoover Dam and went and saw that. I don't know, I wasn't as impressed with the Hoover Dam. This sounds horrible, but I'm like, it looks so small. I don't know if like
I was shocked that you said that. I was like, this thing is huge.
I don't know if it's like because I built it up in my head or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, and so we did that and kind of walked around there.
We went to didn't we go into the little museum that was there?
Oh, yeah,
Really
we
briefly.
did. It wasn't much.
You didn't need to.
I
You don't
remember
need
the
to do it.
security there hassled us too.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, it's just weird. But
Yeah.
after that, Abe really wanted to hike.
Yeah.
So we went to the Valley of Fire State Park. I think we drove through a national park too.
yeah, we
the way.
did. I can't remember the name of it.
I don't remember.
It was like, I don't think it was a national park. I think it was a state park.
Oh,
Or no, we did
Maybe
go
it
through
was
a
a state-
national, and then Valley of Fire is a state park.
yes,
That's right.
I think so.
And so we drove through this national park, had a pass for it, National Parks Pass, and drove through it. And then you don't exit out, actually. You just drive into the state park, and then it's kind of
Yeah, it was
interesting.
so weird.
The Valley of Fire. But it was really cool.
It was beautiful.
We were running out of time, actually,
yeah,
unfortunately. But we ended up going pretty far in. We looked at like a little museum thing.
Yeah.
Thing they had there, and then we hiked up some like really big boulders and stuff, and then we ended up
really
just going
cool.
and sitting down and just laying on our backs and listening to the nature around us, which is
Yeah.
it was really relaxing.
It was cool. I've never been to the Grand Canyon, but it felt like it had
Grand-
similar
Oh, man.
Grand Canyon vibes. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. We're gonna have to go to the Grand
Yeah, I have
Grand
to go
Canyon,
to
and you're gonna
see.
be like,
I mean,
no.
just like the colors and everything.
Yeah.
Like there aren't a lot of trees and things like that. So like that's what I
Yeah.
imagine. Even one of my friends was like, "I thought you were at the Grand Canyon
Oh,
in that
really?
photo." She's
What?
never been there.
Oh,
She's
man. All these people
Those
that
of
are
us who
watching
have.
this video are gonna be like, "What are you talking
No,
about?"
no.
No.
No,
So-
I know it's not. I've seen other photos.
There's a Grand Canyon.
I'm just
No.
saying, like, I've never been
Yeah.
out to a desert like
Yeah.
that, like that kind of area.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. So we ended up driving back. The cool thing about the car was that because we rented it kind of later in the day, later in the morning, we actually were able to drive it to the airport.
Yeah.
You remember that?
That worked out really nicely.
And so we didn't have to pay extra for it or anything. We just had it for like 24 hours.
Yeah.
The one thing I remember is like, I started getting sick. I don't know why, and I ended up getting like a
yeah.
cold. That night I slept horribly, and anyway, drove that there, and then we like fought in the airport. Do you remember that? Do you remember what we fought over?
I literally don't remember.
Oh man! So you're like, my toothbrush. It has a battery in it. You didn't tell me about the toothbrush.
Oh yeah.
And like stuff.
Yeah.
So,
like little things that don't even matter.
right.
See, I don't even remember it, so it like did not
But I remember
matter.
you so mad at me for it. I was like, okay, I don't know, man. Like that's your toothbrush.
I don't. Yeah.
So anyway,
But one thing we forgot to mention is that, I mentioned that my birthday was at the time we
yeah.
took this trip, and we actually were able to celebrate my birthday.
oh, that's right.
We went
yeah.
I wanted to kind of like pick the restaurant. And so I love reality TV, if you don't already know this about me. And I'm very into Vanderpump Rules. And so Lisa Vanderpump, who, if you know that show, or like Real Housewives, she is an owner of that restaurant. And so we went to Vanderpump à Paris in the Paris Hotel, which the Paris Hotel was really cool
That one
too.
was cool, yeah.
Every hotel had its own like, thing going
Ambiance
on, which
and
was
everything.
really neat. It just
like its own
took you
little
into
world.
it took you into a different space. And so I really wanted to go to that restaurant. I had seen it on the show, and so that's where we ended up having dinner. I got a special birthday drink. I don't remember what it was, but it had like a cute little birthday macaroon in it with a crown. There was a
crown.
like a crown, but it was glued.
The crown was
the
glued
plate.
to the plate. And we're like, what's up with this? And the server, he was actually
French. He was French.
He's French, was
Yeah.
he? Yeah. And he's like, yeah, people were stealing these or whatever.
Stealing the crown,
and
yeah.
we were like telling him we were going to go to Italy. He's like, oh yeah, my friend has a business where we like salvage the furniture from these houses because I guess I don't know anything like truly about this, but like it sounds like he was talking about because during everyone wants new stuff and they're getting rid of all this old furniture and they just throw it away.
That's like beautiful and
Like,
it's not made like that anymore.
A couple hundred years, like maybe 100 years old or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And so he ships it over to the United States and people will pay big dollars for it when people are throwing it away in France. So,
it was cool to talk to him about that and travels and but yeah, I love that we went to that restaurant and like he was telling us, oh yeah, Lisa, that like all that stuff that's behind you in that cabinet, because there are these random tchotchke things.
So weird.
Like it was like
little dolls,
like little dolls and tea sets and all this stuff. He's like, yeah, that's from Lisa's collection. I'm like, oh my god, like I love this show.
I love Lisa.
So it was super cool to go there and then walk around the Paris Hotel a little bit.
I forget what we got to eat there. I don't even remember.
We just got like I think we got some
appetizers.
little like appetizer type things.
Yeah.
And then we love Taco Bell.
Oh my god!
This was one of
Taco
the
Bell. Oh,
Yeah.
literally, I didn't
one of
know
the
really
biggest
about
things
Taco
about
Bell for some reason. We talk about Taco Bell all the time now, but like
the Taco Bell. This is specifically the Taco Bell Cantina.
Yes.
It is a flagship Taco Bell store. If you've never been, it is different than other Taco Bells.
Yes.
It has, it has
it's two
everything.
stories.
2 stories, and then you also can go get. If you've ever been to Vegas, you can get these huge slushies or these alcohol drinks that are
yes.
like this. It's like a yard. I think they call it like a yardstick drink or something.
It's like a blizzard, right? Is it a blizzard or
It's like a slushy thing,
after the
and you
bar.
can add alcohol into it, like
they
like
it's
the
a bar
Baja Blast
there.
freeze, and you can add alcohol into it, and they have all these different flavors. And literally on Vegas, you could just walk around with a drink. Like it's totally fine. It's totally fine to have these big yard things, and people are just drinking alcohol as they're walking. And but like the food was so good, it was so cheap and compared. Of course, Taco Bell.
Yeah, but
But the
I don't know.
ambiance is really
I had
cool.
never really eaten at Taco Bell that much prior. I'm like, what is this? It tasted so good.
And we went there a couple times.
A couple of times.
Yeah.
And then the last time I think we went up, or the first time when we went there, someone was like having a wedding up there. Do you remember that? They had a DJ playing on the second floor.
They had like a party going, yeah.
Or it was a bachelorette party or something
yeah,
like
they had
that.
a DJ and everything.
Yeah.
People were dancing.
And we ended up going up there, I think on our last time we
point.
were there. And they have like a little area you can get married in.
Yeah,
the
they had
Taco
photos
Bell.
of people who had gotten
I'm
married
like, we
there.
should get married there.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, but
No, I don't want to.
but we should.
Love Taco Bell, but no.
So, it was just amazing, and all the food was so good. I don't know why it was so good. It was just I wasn't
good
even
every
I wasn't
time we
even
went
drinking
there.
alcohol.
No,
That's
he
the thing.
wasn't.
Like, it wasn't that I was drunk or anything either. I'm like,
I think it was the ambiance. It was being in Vegas.
Yeah.
It was just like fun.
And I don't know, what is it, fried chalupas or whatever?
Chalupa.
Chalupas? Fried, see, I don't know. Fried chalupas. They were like hot when they came out.
He loved those chalupas.
I know and like we get them here and like they're
not the
good,
same.
but they're not like
the same.
as hot coming out. And I'm like, I don't know if it was just good timing or what.
I
but-
honestly don't even remember what else we ate while we were there, other than going
we
to the
ate a lot
Vanderpump
of
and the
Taco
Italy.
Bell. Like we ate a lot of Taco Bell.
We ate it a few times, but like we went to Denny's one time.
Oh, we did go to Denny's.
Because we just wanted some
Yeah.
like food that wasn't like
I don't know.
I don't know how to explain it. Like we
We
wanted
wanted a
some
cheap
random
meal,
diner
I think.
food. Like I think we went for breakfast.
Yeah, and I think it was also like money because this was kind of like a budget trip in a way.
It wasn't budget.
It was supposed to be budget, but it didn't turn out to be.
But
yeah, we met this guy at the diner. He's like, "Yeah, you can get whatever you want. I'll take this or whatever off for you."
Yeah.
Because we were trying not to eat meat and stuff, and
yeah.
yeah, Denny's is really good. And then we've tried Denny's here, and we're like,
Right.
I mean, there's a Denny's in Bonnie Lake that it was a little weird, but
it was very good.
It was really good. We've tried IHOP a couple of times, trying to like
Yeah.
find that same experience.
Yeah.
And
But
remember the IHOP experience? We just to go off path a little bit. We tried this IHOP. Where was it? It was like in Oregon.
in Vancouver?
It was in Vancouver, yeah. And
what were we doing? Why were we down there?
We've done some cabins and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But
talk about that on later podcasts.
but yeah. Anyway, it was not what it should have been. So we'll talk about that later. But
oh my gosh.
yeah, it's so anyway, Taco Bell. The other thing just to rant about Taco Bell a little bit. The reason I think works out really well for us is because it's a fast food restaurant that actually has a lot of options for non-meat eaters.
Yes.
So like you can do beans. I mean, really, beans is a big thing.
Do potatoes.
Yeah, potatoes, beans. You can
or
like,
just the veggies.
really customize like the
Yeah.
wraps, the burritos, and things.
Yeah, it's really nice because sometimes you go to a place and it's like,
Yeah.
a lot of chicken or
Yeah.
like a lot of beef or
Yeah.
like, there just aren't other things
Yeah.
that they can substitute.
So that was.
But-
I think that was the whole Vegas trip. It's
it
like
was
3 days
amazing.
or 3 nights, 4 nights.
4 nights, 5 days.
Yeah.
And it was really fun. Vegas, there's just so much to do. You literally could just stay on the strip, visit every
You don't
single
even have
hotel.
to spend that much money either.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't even have to gamble,
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
if you're not into that. You don't even have to drink if
No,
you're not
like
into
I
that
didn't
either.
drink at all.
Yeah. And
Um,
there were still things to do. Like so many stores to see. Literally, you can just go to every single hotel,
That's
and it's
what
just
we
a different
did.
experience.
Just walk
Remember
in.
those ones we went to that were way on the end, past
Yeah,
the Venetian,
I
like the
know.
Encore, and like
Those were like high
those
end.
were nice.
They were really
oh my
high end.
God. Yeah.
Like at Louis
the
Vuitton or
Win,
things.
the
in
Win
them.
and
Oh my
Encore,
gosh.
so cool inside,
Yeah.
like beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to stay at every single hotel. there
Went
is.
to one of the malls there. Oh, just before we end, we'll talk about this last experience. But I bought this gummy bear at this mall, and it was like the hottest whatever. I don't know how
Across
many.
from the Encore and the Win.
Yeah, Scoville gummy bear. And I'm like, Lexi, you gotta try this with me. We're gonna eat this. And she's like, no. And I'm like, yeah, we're gonna
I
do
don't
it.
want to do that.
And so
How big was that gummy bear? Was it just
it
regular
was like a
size?
regular size gummy bear, man. And I'm like, can't be that bad. Because everyone does like chips and things like that. And I was like, it's like
Yeah, you see these
tiny.
videos online.
Yeah.
You're like, I could do it.
So I took a bite and then I gave you the rest. And oh man, I took a picture before us as we were eating it, and then as we were like crying, literally you were crying.
I was crying. Like I was like,
You're like,
the
"There's
guy at the
something wrong
T-Mobile
with-"
stand is like looking at me like, who is this crazy woman? Like I was like, oh my God. Like,
You're
I
like,
felt
"There's
like my
something
mouth was
wrong with
literally
me."
on fire. Like I was burping. Like it was just like.
Yeah, and
I
then
was
the part that you
I was
don't
like,
expect.
aim, help, and then I was like, I have to throw up, so I'm running to the bathroom.
Yeah, and then like you're
I was
sitting
having a
in the
panic attack.
bathroom and you're like, the part that I think people don't expect is everyone talks about like, yeah, it burns going down, but literally your stomach burns.
Like it burned all the way
But then
down.
your just
The
stomach,
stomach burns. Yeah.
it was horrible.
Mouth burning.
And then we're sitting
crying.
we're sitting outside of the bathrooms in the mall, like on this bench. We're like, that was a horrible experience. We're not doing that again.
Oh my
man.
God, that was so
Yeah,
awful.
I forgot about the gummy
Oh my
bear.
God.
Oh gosh. So
That was so bad. But yeah, I mean, we went to the mall, but it just wasn't as exciting as like the whole rest of this trip either. But yeah, it was such a good experience, and I can't wait till we go again.
yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you again for joining us on Get Out and Enjoy Life podcast or GOEL.
We hope you get out and enjoy life in whatever way that means to you. Whether it's traveling, going to see a friend, giving someone a call, we hope you get out and enjoy life in whatever way, possible for you.
So we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you again for joining us. Bye.
Bye.